I made a joke about how the Giants finally beat the Eagles, and I said, because I was in Giants country, right? Now, South Jersey is Eagles, where I'm in good standing, but North Jersey, I brought up the Eagles a couple times. Oh my gosh, the crowd, like they looked like they were going to rush the stage, and I was like, hold on, guys, hold on, just let me hear me out. And they're like, "Rrr," you could see it, kind of turn. I said, wait a minute, and I said, you know something? If I could stand here as an Eagles fan saying that, saying that I support Jack Ciattarelli, then maybe, just maybe, New Jersey can go red because all the Democrats are now crossing the aisle. I think he's got 12 elected Democrat officials that have crossed over, probably even more than that by the end of the show, to be 15, maybe 25, that have endorsed him. He keeps rolling them out every day. And you got to say if I can go out there and say something nice about the New York Giants, which I hope fortunately my dad was not there, then I think that if he gets that crossover vote, he's going to win.
No, Jack, I think that's exactly right. Look, New Jersey, one of the first campaigns I worked on was in 2008. It was for Congressman Chris Smith. We're out there fundraising all over South Jersey. I love South Jersey. It's all working class people, right? Common sense people that, they like their Social Security, they like their Medicare, but they don't like sterilizing children. They don't like boys and girls sports. They don't want boys and girls locker rooms because they know that problems will happen from that. But look, if you look at Mikey Sherrill, she's a very weak candidate. She supports the entire trans agenda, which, by the way, is a killer. Our message testing shows that, among swing voters, that 8% of them shift over to Jack Ciattarelli when they find out that Mikey Sherrill supports taking away parental rights or giving kids sex change procedures. It's a common sense state, Jack. They want to get to work. They want to be able to take care of their families, and they don't want someone like Mikey Sherrill to be transing their sons.
That's exactly right, and you put that in now. Now we were talking a little bit on the break, but you can tell us on here, is APP getting involved in the race?
Oh yeah, sorry. I I should have said that. We're over $1 million now that we're going to be spending in New
Wow.
Jersey to help Jack Ciattarelli get over the top. We're primarily doing text messaging campaigns and digital campaigns. We actually, by the way, our ads have some of the highest completion rates of all time. So you can tell how impactful an ad can be based on how many people are clicking out of it. And right now, less than 3% of people are clicking out of our ads. They're actually watching the whole thing from completion or at a 97% rate. So I think these issues are hot. I think Mikey Sherrill is vulnerable regardless of what the polls say, which, by the way, the polls
We're going to work on that. I think we got a connection issue there with Terry, but I've been looking at these polls as well, and they've been tightening every single week. And when you get the better the poll that comes out, the better he does. The better he does. The better. It's actually these low fidelity polls that have him not doing as well, but the high fidelity polls that are coming out, the high quality polls, he is neck and neck with her. You could even say T-neck and T-neck with her, because I was driving through there yesterday. If you're from Jersey, you'll get the joke. If not, you'll just be like, why is Posto doing this again? The issues up in that race are so clear. She is too far to the left for New Jersey. And and again, I'm telling you, those working class voters that I was with yesterday, the Irish, the Italians, the Polish, the Colombians that were coming out in droves, by the way, in North Jersey. The Colombians, yeah. They're not down with the wokeness. They're not down with this. And they're also not down with the fact that Mikey Sherrill, and look, by the way, look at her face right there. You could see it. That is the dour face of joylessness. That is not the joy. Mikey Sherrill is not feeling the joy. She is feeling the Kamala. That's the big Kamala face right there. What does that mean? That means she's been reading internal polls. She knows there's trouble. That's her at a rally, by the way. And she's trying to, you're on camera. You want to try to put on a happy face or something. No, she can't do it. Do we have Terry back, guys? Do we have Terry back there?
I'm here.
Oh, great, Terry. We reset you, but you were just kind of walking through that. You guys are doing fantastic work. 1 million big ones into the New Jersey race. That's a huge investment.
No, and that's right. And we're spending every day making sure that voters in New Jersey know that Mikey Sherrill's a threat. She's a threat to their children. She's a threat to their rights as parents. She's so extreme. In 2021, Terry McAuliffe got in trouble for saying that he didn't think parents should be telling schools what to teach. Well, Mikey Sherrill's even more extreme than that. She voted against the Parental Bill of Rights, which was just a transparency bill. It just simply told parents what schools were teaching. She's against, not only does she not want parents telling schools what to teach, she doesn't even want parents to know what schools are teaching their children. She's a radical and she needs to go.
No, this is absolutely huge. She's just too far to the left. She's way too far to the left for for New Jersey. And and Terry, you're a great political strategist, and people maybe don't realize that about you because they mostly know you for your campaigns, your crusades against wokeism. But you're an excellent political strategist, and of course, you get that from your father, who taught you so much about it. Learning at his knee. New Jersey doesn't exactly track the way that Virginia does. And I was trying to explain this difference because the Virginia Democrats, that's more of a white collar Democrat, but a New Jersey Democrat is more of a blue collar Democrat. And those blue collar Democrats are not on board with this radical wokeness. They're just not. And that's why those issues can play there. I'm not saying they don't play in Virginia, but that's why I'm saying that those issues can generate these types of crossover voters in a place like New Jersey, where honestly, and I've got to say it, it's the new adage that's going around, New Jersey might be the next Pennsylvania.
No, Jack, I think you're exactly right. And there is a big difference between the Democrats in New Jersey and the Democrats in Virginia. Now, to be clear, these trans issues are repulsive to voters in both states. But the reality is that
and I
the
wasn't trying to say that
white-collar
they're not.
Democrats, huh? No, exactly. But
Virginia's where we had
white-collar
Loudoun County.
Yes, and they still haven't corrected, right? And we need to take advantage of that. But these Democrats in Northern Virginia, they're the types that will call child protective services on you if you don't trans your kid, right? Like that's
Right.
how woke and disgusting. In Northern Virginia, they have the "hate has no home here" signs in every front lawn, right? In New Jersey, though, it's very common sense. It's working class. They want to make enough money to put food on the table so that they can send their kids to get the right apprenticeships and take care of them, and so that their kids can afford homes and houses for their families. It's a totally different class of voters, and I think New Jersey's prime for the taking.
No, I think this is exactly right. And when you look at the preponderance of this, when you look at where New Jersey's at, and I'm just going to say it, if you had told me 10 years ago, 15 years ago that there'd be a grassroots movement to elect a Republican in New Jersey, I would be like, what are you talking about? Like, that's just not even anywhere near the cards. However, when you look into the actual polling, especially the 2024 election outcomes, every single county of New Jersey, this is even on Wikipedia, right? They'll scrub it after we talked about it today. But even on Wikipedia, what did it show? A county shift in every single county towards red. And it shifted red on a variety of issues, but trans and women's in men and girls sports, that's a huge one. And the other huge one, of course, is the effect of illegal alien crime, illegal alien violence. Because who doesn't want that? People in the suburbs, specifically, if I could talk, suburban women. I need some more blackout coffee. The suburban women are just not down for this.
No, they're not, and the suburban women aren't with the Democrats' agenda on a lot of things. They don't want men in their daughters' showers. They don't want them in their locker rooms. They want to get back to normalcy. But most importantly, Jack, women in New Jersey and all across the country, they want to say in what their kids are learning in school, right? And they first and foremost need to know about what their kids are learning in school so that they can have an opinion on it. And Democrats like Mikey Sherrill and even Abigail Spanberger in Virginia, they don't think parents should have anything to do with their kids' education. They don't view parents as being the primary educators. They view them as being the people that just pay the bills. They want to raise your children. Why? Because they aren't having children of their own, right? They've been telling their kids, they've been told by their parents to have as few children as possible and get married only if you have to. These are different people. They don't come from the same background as us. Jack, you and I, we know normal people. We are normal people. We know that our families are our pride and joy. They're the only thing that really matters in this life. And these Democrats that are running for office, they think that families are a hurdle. They think that they're an obstacle to your true legacy, which is apparently becoming governor of New Jersey.